Welcome to Lesson 6, Working with Multilingual Vocabularies. In this lesson you will learn how to add a new language to your vocabulary, how to enter the translation for a term, how to switch the main browser to another language, and how to generate reports for multilingual vocabularies. MultiTes supports the creation of fully multilingual thesauri or taxonomies. Different language translations of terms have equal standing and are managed in a special way, not merely as typical relationships. We'll start with creating a new thesaurus. From the File menu, select New Thesaurus. Give it the name Fruits, hit Enter to save, enter again since we're not going to specify a longer description name. Now you see a blank thesaurus. Before we begin, we're going to define the languages of this multilingual thesaurus. From the main menu, Define, select Languages. You see the default here is English. Each language has both a code and its name. Since we're going to add new languages, we click the New button. We need to specify a code in addition to the name. So one will be French, hit Enter again for New again, and the other will be Spanish. Hit Save. Now these are the three languages. It will be a trilingual thesaurus. Close this box. Now we need to add some terms. Let's go to New Term button and add our first term, tropical fruits. Hit Enter to save. And we're going to start with adding the French and Spanish translations. As I said, they are added as we add other relationship types, even though it's not a relationship. So we can use the relationship wizard. If I click on the button, you can see the defaults plus our new types of French and Spanish that we have added. Before we go on, let's review other ways to access the relationship wizard. In addition to the button, again, when the term is selected, you can go up to the term on the menu and click Relationship Wizard. You can right-click on the term and from the context menu select Relationship Wizard. You can select the term record, and here is also the button for both Add Relationships and Relationship Wizard. Finally, there's another shortcut, which is Alt-L, which calls up the Relationship Wizard window. Alright, let's start from here and add the French and Spanish translations. If you see what I click, we'll change the default Add button. So I'm going to start with Spanish, add Spanish. I only need to hit Enter now because that button is highlighted, and I add the Spanish version and hit Enter to save. Then I select French. I could also just arrow up. The button here now says Add French, and I type in the French version. Oops. I close this. What you see now on the main browser, the column under Translations indicates that there are now 3 languages for tropical fruit, not just the one English. If we select the term, and the term record grouped under Translation are the 2 translations. It's not under Relationships, because those are for broader term, narrower term, related term, and used for. Now we want to add more terms to the thesaurus. We need more specific types of tropical fruit. Let's go to the Relationship Wizard again, and this time we're going to use narrower term. Hit Enter to add narrower term. And we'll add specific types, hit Enter to save, and because narrow term is already highlighted, I only need to hit Enter again for that same relationship type. Orange, Enter again to get in fact I only need to hit Enter 2 times between each term, and I can add them pretty quickly. Alright, that's about enough. Alright, if we look in our main browser here, we see that we have more terms added. Tropical fruits is the only one with the additional translations. Tropical fruits is also in bold because it is now a top term. A top term is a term that has narrower terms but no broader term. Now we'd like to create translations for these other narrower terms. Let's start, let's see. Oh, I think I wanted to add one more, coconut. I forgot about that one. So I can go back. For this is just a quick one. Okay. Yeah, with coconut, we're going to start with that one to add translations. Again, with the relationship wizard. Spanish, add Spanish. And then French, to add the French. Okay. So you see how we've added translations through the relationship wizard for an individual term. Let's close these windows. If we want to close multiple windows at once, we can go to this window menu and select not merely close, but close all. And refresh. Coconut has translations. We can also add translations via the quick data entry screen. I'm going to do that for grapefruit. I need to type the code with the colon followed by the name of the term. Oops. Okay, and save. Now you can see that grapefruit also has translations. I don't want to do the rest of them one by one, but remember with the quick data entry screen, we can copy and paste a longer list, which I already have here, of the remaining terms and their translations. Control C and Control V, save, and now you see that all terms have translations. By the way, under the Edit menu, you can see also these commands for Control C and Control V, and that involve the clipboard. In fact, if I click Show Clipboard, MultiTes has its own clipboard. So now we have a small multilingual thesaurus. It is truly multilingual. Even though what we're seeing here is English, we can change the default display. Up under Define menu, Languages, see the Set as Active button. The default is English. Let's change that to French, Set as Active, and now we see the French thesaurus view. Let's change it again to Spanish, Spanish, Set as Active, and this is the Spanish thesaurus view. It's not merely for the view in the main browser, but also what we generate in reports, printing outputs for export, or as HTML. Now right now we're in Spanish, so let's generate a report in Spanish. Reports, we'll select Report Generator, where we can control the display items. I'd like to display broader term, narrower term, English and French. Spanish isn't even an option as a relationship type because we are in Spanish, starting from there. Let's print to screen, and there you can see the alphabetical Spanish thesaurus of tropical fruits, each with broader term or narrower term, and its English and French translations. Let's do the same for French. Define, Languages, French, Set as Active, Report Generator, and what we're going to display here, broader term, narrower term, English and Spanish. Print report, and here is our French thesaurus. You saw we created translations for each term. It's not absolutely required, and not by the especially for the non-preferred terms. We didn't create any, but non-preferred terms could vary from one language to another. This brings us to the end of Lesson 6.